mind, they had their game plan. Kind of makes you wonder if they expected Anubis to come through. Definitely would have been preparing for Overpass as a likely decider coming through. A map that I feel Cadian is quite strong at calling on, at least in his tenure on Heroic. Will that translate here with Liquid?
I guess we'll have to wait and see. A lot of pressure on the line here, and it also splits North America down the middle. It's the Canadian collective of Liquid versus the American dream of Complexity. One of these two teams will book their spot in Copenhagen. One of these teams won't make it to the airport. Hulzerk taking contact, falling back immediately out of toilets. Liquid began to immediately take the space.
Floppy in towards short with a leash, door blown open so they can peer through the connector, see nobody's home. Very slow from Liquid. The Complexity, they are not just sitting on it. Elige goes for a push.
This is big. This just means your players can sit here. You've also got the space from Floppy in towards short. They're going to be ready for these rotates. Hulzerk in towards long. He deals with Twistzz. JT as well on towards Naf. YEKINDAR feels like he's trapped. There's no space. There's nowhere to go. Liquid, they've got to fight their way out. And they're losing every single gunfight. Elige has been noted over towards Fountain, but Skulls, he's wasting so much time coming to clear him. And Elige just slipped the net. It's been such a nuisance, finally dealt with, but the damage, you feel like it's already been done.
Hold up, JT went on an exploration mission and Cadian was able to swing. Thought he could trade and find Skulls when Elige goes down, and suddenly we're into a 2-on-3 after all those opening kills.
Setup's still really strong though. Floppy is still over towards short. He can hold the connector rotation, which means you've got these players in the right place at the right time.
Cadian's going to reroute to long. Both these teams have now picked up USPs. Favoring it for the long range. Now Cadian can flash Skulls through to try and clear close in towards the truck. That's where Grim lies. In wave flash comes in. Doesn't matter. Hulzerk's blind, but still hits his mark. And Cadian not ready for Grim to swing. Complexity with another pistol.
Yeah, really well worked by Complexity. Even though they overextend, even though JT just completely nearly throws the round just back into speculation, it always feels like they're ready. Elige taking the initiative. Floppy always holding the space in towards short. You can hear the audio. If Liquid reset, but they don't. They're funneled straight into these crossfires.
Great kills from Hulzerk. Grim, the extra element, really good setup, as you mentioned. And this time, Liquid, they've decided, you know what, we're done with these T-side forces. Still got a tiny bit of investment. A couple of flashbangs, pistols. You can see the deagle on Skulls thanks to his kills. And perhaps a bit of a pop play, try and test out the B defense with these flashbangs. Hulzerk's already going to be in the back line, so there's plenty of support for Complexity. They're going to be ready for anything that comes through Monster.
Yeah, they're locked in. You can't go connector, you can't go short, you can't go back through because Hulzerk is there. They're trapped. Completely cordoned in towards Monster. There's two flashbangs, and that is it to get Liquid through the smokes. But Complexity, it feels like they can do no wrong. Floppy taking the contact, the MP9 spamming as well. Finally, you get that flash, but JT's ready. Bailing Floppy out. It's a complete mowdown from Cole.
Everyone contributing to holding the site. Locking Liquid out, but it was just those Glocks. The Deagle don't really get too much done. A good early test to the defense on B. Now Liquid to bring out all the rifles. This is the round they're playing for. See what Cadian's approach is to this T side early on. Interesting, he's actually, again, we're seeing these VPS buys. You gotta call him that because he's saving for a future orb.
This means it's going to be fast. It means they're going to try and take the space in towards short early. You see that Naf's got the intent. Flashbangs flying through. He's running through the mollies, but full blind. It's Floppy and JT that combine. Skulls and Twistzz trying to provide an outlet, but it's Grim. He stands tallest on that bomb site. He locks Liquid out.
For his teammates fall, Grim steps up and he reaps the rewards. Those flashbangs blinded everybody. There wasn't a damn person on that side that wasn't seeing white for a good 3 seconds there. So I'm not sure if that's just a bit of that miscoordination, it feels. As Liquid are still getting together on these T sides, still putting the pieces together, trying to smooth out any hitches in their assaults. And you can see that might have been one there. Naf definitely should never have been blind on that entry pathing.
No, absolutely not. And also, I think they're running through their own molly there. Just trying to already have that element of surprise. Everyone for Complexity was blind initially, but when the dust settles, it's Elige to get the kills. It's Grim to be that anchor, the pillar of support that Liquid is so desperately trying to answer, and they can't come up with anything. But it's the support network that Elige desperately needs.
And now you can see kind of, there was two ways that round was going to pan out for KD into the next round. It was either going to be the AWP coming through, or if they lose, he gets the hero AK. So there's still a fair bit of potency into this round, definitely more than there would have been. It's an interesting approach, definitely one that we've seen some teams adopt. It's a double up towards Long. Grim and Elige wielding the hot rods, and they are running over Liquid. Cadian's AK goes into the hands of YEKINDAR, who doesn't even have armor. Elige has no issues dispatching of him. Naf running through the fire, and now his position is known as A defense, doing it all. Just one falling for Complexity.
Really impressive the way that Complexity are constructing a lot of their defaults. It's fueled with aggression, something that we saw on Anubis, but they're carrying it forward in towards Overpass. Think about Elige pushing in the pistol. Players already walking down Long, holds up with that MP9 for quick flanks. Liquid never feel comfortable. They never feel like they can get set up and just take one area of the map. Everything is done with accelerated pressure. And they walk straight into the trap that Complexity keeps ensnaring them within. 4-0. Shut out on this T side, hoping for more, but it's Elige again. Finally punished.
Kinder was such a nuisance on Inferno. He definitely tampered. Couldn't find his impact on Anubis. Gets the opener into this round. It's a big ticket player to take down. Now Liquid have a lot of time to work with and the advantage.
This isn't going to be the commitment at the first instance. This is them just dropping utility to try and get responses, trying to get Complexity to drain out their resources so they can double pump the execute. But for Hulzerk, yet again, he's pushed, he's got the info. Complexity in the best possible position to set up against this hit.
Gonna be late on the come through. That flashbang is good, but it's only the one that comes through for Floppy. Still JT and Grim into the side, and Grim finds the first before they can even get through the door. Grim continuing to lock down B. JT swings through for his and even a follow-up. This B from Complexity is looking like a whole different beast.
Let's go!
Really well done from Grim. Exactly what Complexity need. And now it's a bleak outlook for Liquid as well. They tried the A plays over towards the pistol, hasn't worked. They tried to even fight in towards Playground, find the opening kill. That was a 5 versus 4. That could have been in their favor. But they don't react quick enough. Complexity hold them. At the first instance, Hulzerk starts to walk and work his magic. And it's just the information game. That's what's prevailing right now. Going for a peek, not securing the kill. But the statement of intent is there. Complexity want to fight Liquid early.
Cadian's got his ult out as well. This one unarmored. Still seen him find a few good entries. Hulzerk now repositions all the way out towards Long. No presence at B has caused space, allowed Grim to come back over.
This is the conditioning that's also been set by Complexity by going so aggressive in these early rounds. Liquid are now using their utility, Miss Molly on Divider. Twistzz jump spotting, we're at the minute mark, and now Liquid have only just progressed by the toilets. Elige lying in wait, and it's still got Grim. Can still be bailed out with utility. Skulls clears connector, deems it his. And now Liquid can have this fight and this brawl in the toilets.
Complexity have the perfect read. It feels like JT is a step ahead of Cadian at the moment. Puts the pieces in the right place, but they still need to find their mark. Elige is going to catch a good timing to come on board. YEKINDAR spotted and Cadian. So much damage done, but no kill found. Information for everybody though. Bomb spotted, 3 bodies seen. And now Grim, it's his chance to step forward. Close to the bathrooms, Hulzerk lying in wait as well, but it's only the one. Haiti over the top, can't find any of these low players. And Floppy comes around, but he's loud about it. Cadian gets his.
10 seconds, you got to get in there, you got to plant the bomb. Is it still difficult? Allsark locking them out. JT completely denying anything, even though they're not getting the kills.
Cadian can't even get away. And that's the energy from Complexity that's been missing. Fired up, and why wouldn't you be? What a way to win that round.
The pressure that Elige is applying towards front toilets means that everyone from Liquid is so tunnel visioned over on that area of the map. Skulls has just cleared Connector, and Floppy walks right back into it. There's already a lurk. There's the Horzerk element who is now feeling fired up. He's feeling reinvigorated into this series. Having peaks, getting successes, but more importantly, setting the riflers up to trade. Fortunately enough for Cadian, he dies just before the time expires, so he's still got money.
That could have gotten very dicey. We can see Horzerk shots as well. Great one onto Skulls. And JT, that smoke giving enough coverage for him to see the players as they come through. With the time left, he could just feel that round in his hands, ready to confirm. As I mentioned, it just feels like Complexity, they've got the right reads. They're getting the info early, putting the players where they need to be to find success, and Horzerk takes that opening pick. This time, finds his target. Grim spotting, JT under pressure is run down by Twistzz. That's an AK that can be picked up. Able to get away with it, but Elige is now all the way down Connector. Ready to lock them off. If Liquid want to leave, they have to go back through T-spawn.
This is better though from Liquid because they understand that Complexity are going to take space back. They're going to expect that there's always going to be players lurking around the corner. Horzerk's dropped into the bomb site to cut off Monster, so Grim and Floppy can just retake this space. And it also means another rifler can go over and help Elige.
So much information gathered for Complexity. And Liquid still haven't crossed past Fountain, so there's time for this rotation. Floppy can come on up. Grim's gonna join him, and Elige could be the fly in the ointment. But if he falls, Liquid have a lot of options. There's so much riding on Elige in this round. Players on the other side, he picks up at the perfect time. The multi-kill is his this time. Twistzz gets the kill back, but it's the advantage for Complexity. And Naf's just got a deagle. Running down long, 30 seconds of smoke in front of Twistzz. And Grim is holding for Naf. A difficult kill for Naf at the best of times, and both fall in quick succession. Complexity keeping it flawless.
It's really well done from Complexity. It's all the moving pieces on the map, and it's just the timing of when they go for these aggressive moves. Elige's got all the Connector, but at the same time, he's isolated there. He needs the support of Floppy, of Grim to walk in towards water, and Horzerk takes the gamble, holds off Monster just in case anyone is there. They can then just rotate up. They can then be in the best possible position. And where Liquid are being so static, where Liquid are not providing any source of outlet on more than one area of the map, they are making it increasingly easy for JT to call a perfect game. Time's running out already. 7-0, Horzerk again being active, this time with the sniper. YEKINDAR very good with these entries, but in fact, the first contact comes down con, Skulls removed.
This map feels very small for Liquid right now. Complexity are taking liberties at every single position. And this is where you're gonna need someone to step up. You're gonna need some decisiveness in the server. Something to get Liquid back into this T side.
I feel like if you're Liquid, you'd be relying a lot more on your executes. That's where you'd go in towards B. You'd test it, but you've been shut down by Grim every single moment you try and execute onto that bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about the executes. We saw when they tried to go fast onto B and the flashbangs were off. They couldn't get the correct pathing to enter in. Doesn't set a lot of hope. And Elige is again in the back lines. This is a split attack. Two players going through. The bomb is in towards short, and Elige has managed to find Cadian. He cuts them in half. That's the bomb lost. and known about. Twistzz is going to try and recover, looking for Elish, does get the kill, and now swings on through. There's a way back in, but Floppy is still here. YEKINDAR on a very late flank, and there's no time. YEKINDAR's heard. HallZerg does hear him back though, but 10 seconds. Twistzz needs to get into the site. YEKINDAR being held for, but maybe if they could just find the kills. Grim can't deny the bomb. Twistzz has found a way through somehow. Liquid are making this work, but Grim can still unravel YEKINDAR from up on high, and Liquid get on the board in the most unconventional fashion.
What a round from YEKINDAR. I mean, you feel like at 18 seconds, the way he's out long, he hasn't got time for that rotate. But it's the AWP that comes back up heaven. It's HallZerg that's the rotate. He misses his mark. YEKINDAR doesn't miss his opportunity. Not once, but twice. This second headshot on towards, I think it was, I'm not sure who it was on. Floppy in towards water. There it is. It's just surgical. Grim can't clutch every round.
And that's the way they make it happen. And honestly, this could be the path back in. Complexity are on a teetering edge. And that's caused them to play a bit more passive this time as Stack over towards B early. Elish, the sole defender in charge of holding A off, but Liquid are taking a slow approach.
Grim spammed, Grim now rotates. He's now going to be the player that works his way over here. It's still very slow. Here comes the utility. Deep smoke down divider as a lurk to allow progression here for Liquid up toilet. YEKINDAR also takes space at long. This is looking a lot better. It's looking like a lot more concrete default. Flashing towards Monster. Also can't see anything. Naf punishes. At least there's a trade for complexity, but they still don't know where this is going to end up.
They did spot the bomb on Canids at the very least, but he can now fastly root around. Is Elish going to be ready for this? They're so close. Now he knows. Skulls would have loved a rifle in that position. Two players so close. Grim's going to slip on in to support. No further rotation. Ooh, Grim has spotted a whiff of Twistzz. Surely feels like he's aware of this. And it's caused another rotation. It's loud though. Swinging on forward, trying to get ahead of it. Grim's just fighting every single angle, but Twistzz hits the headshot. JT slips on through. Elish is still out towards long. A time in issue, but Twistz's headshots are not. Elish though, Elish! 3, and that's complexity with 8.
He's the one that knocks. But it's Liquid that are breaking bad. Battered and bruised. A burden of the clock yet again. They're running out of time continuously. They're trying to piece the rounds together. They're trying to formulate where complexity could be. The start of the round looks so much better for Liquid, but this kill out long unraveled things by Elish, and then he keeps on going. The revenge arc, it's nearly complete. Liquid transition to EU, but for Elish, he wants to remain rooted in North America. Exacting revenge on his previous organization, trying to prevent them from attending the first Counter-Strike 2 major in Copenhagen. And he might even get the first contact here. YEKINDAR on the smoke fade. Meanwhile, the rest of the roster looking to push Monster on a similar timing.
Elish finds his mark. Twistzz though, another clean kill, and Canids as well on the drive by the JT. Grim steps in for one, but they have breached the site. Elish is now spotted, and Naflight enacts his revenge. An immediate bounce back from Liquid. HallZerg is clutching this AWP, but he can't give this one a look in. Naf's already on the hunt. Liquid know if they can win this one, they can start to finally get these T rounds rolling. Remove this AWP, remove any potency for complexity.
This buy is going to be shocking regardless. The AWP would be the saving grace for complexity. These rounds have still been close despite the one-sided nature of the half so far. It looks like HallZerg will get away unless Naf walks down the stairs and looks for him. It's going to be close. Barrel not spotted. HallZerg gets away. But that's such a better round from Liquid. Look at the timing on that execute. It comes as soon as Elish takes the contact onto YEKINDAR over towards Fountain. You know that he's far removed from the equation. And this time there's a layering of utility. And it's the experienced members, it's Cadian, it's Twistzz to formulate these headshots, to extract complexity out of this site. It's to assert some form of domination.
Liquid know if they win this round, there's a good chance they can end with 4. They use their last tactical pause, knowing how much rests on this round. If they lose it, that could be the end of their run in this RMR.
They just got to trust themselves. When they've been playing their default Counter-Strike, where they've been looking to take toilets control, where they've been flashing over towards long, at the same time, this is after they've gathered short water. It's such a long map, Overpass. You can really push and pull these rotates. Sure, that's an advantage of being on the CT side. They're fast, but if you're unpredictable, that's where you benefit. Oh. Also, it's gone for that peak 3 or 4 times. It's only profited once against the pistols. Grim now jumping, spotting for info, knows that Skulls is locked in.
His jumping shot doesn't connect. He's sticking around. Love to find a headshot. Opportunities, but thinks better of it. Warp is still present over here, so a double scoped up defense. Each gets onto a different line. Skulls is close in divider. And Liquid's intent is clear. A is their destination.
Only scope weapons defending this. You can see that Elige is ahead of it, but there's no utility. Boost up, ULZRK can't hit the mark. And now Elige is potentially caught in transition. He picks up the sniper, he jiggles, but it's YEKINDAR again, giving out haircuts to these snipers. And Liquid are in. And if you're complexity, you're saving on B. You have no more say into this round. And finally, a lifeline. Working off the back of every single one of these players, finally contributing impactful kills.
You gotta wonder, with so much riding on ULZRK that round, why is he standing so wide in that kind of middle of long there, right? That the boost is not an uncommon play. Even if a wide swing comes out on that angle, there's nowhere for him to go after he fires off that first shot. So as soon as he misses, YEKINDAR is there, ready for the kill. And Elige for the scout, can't get anything done at that point. Picks up the AWP, but doesn't even really get to shoot it. So Liquid will find their third.
Terrorists win.
Complexity are going to be working with barely anything going into this final round of the half.
They're still going to be feeling very comfortable, though. As the Des mentioned, Complexity have won every single pistol in this series so far, and it continued here on Overpass. They've already given themselves 8 rounds to work with on this CT side. They're even going to take 30 seconds just to figure out how they best want to position themselves. The B executes. Those are what Liquid have been looking to try and achieve towards the end of the rounds. But in reality, they've been finding a lot of success over towards A because the ground for toilets has often given up. If there's anyone anywhere on that side of the map, it's normally Elige and Connector.
Complexity entered CS2 with a bang with that finish at Sydney where they were second, barely second. There was a real chance they could have won that final and even lifted that first trophy, but great results early, but it felt like maybe some magic was starting to fade away, but they're not going out with a whimper. 8 already dominant, a chance for 9. 2 FAMASs, an MP9, a Scout, and a 5-7 to get it done.
Yeah, pick a mix. The Cadian, this time he starts in Connector, anticipating a peek from potentially ULZRK. This time the boost up on the right-hand side, Elige. Only peeking on his terms. Only taking the fight with his audio. But for Liquid, it's a case of just taking these long-range gunfights, spreading themselves out over the map. Short control's been gathered, but that would have been heard by Skulls.
They're going to rotate players over, and Liquid continue to move as a group. It's almost a replica of the round prior with this long presence. 3 players out there. But now there's an extra element on A. Elige, JT, both here. ULZRK goes to a forward angle and a boost up for Elige. I like this angle for him. Get him enabled.
I'm not sure. Keep a peek. Because look, they're going to walk through long here. It all depends on the contact. Naf will find a lead as well. Spams out on the boost. Ulzerk can't find the trade. And now the pressure is also being applied at long. They're trying to split into this site. The flashbang, not good enough for JT. As he will still find YEKINDAR. Ulzerk tucked in the back of the bomb site. 30 seconds. Liquid need to try and overwhelm Cole.
That smoke that's been dropped by JT has given Complexity a lifeline into this round. Floppy's going to come up to support, but Grim's still over towards B. So it's JT with barely anything. Ulzerk with the scout, and now Grim will start to rotate. But they have to come through. Time is such an issue. Twistzz is going to be leading through, and Twistzz leads with 2. Floppy can't get anything done, and Grim, a 1 versus 4 is not going to happen here. 3 players are low, but they're not going to allow him into the site. A re-smoke comes through. Funneled through towards the bank. Canids holding the line with the AWP. And there's so many players ready to swing, even if he misses his mark. But he doesn't, and Liquid will find 4 at the half.
Feels like everyone sweating is watching that, apart from the players in the server for Team Liquid. Cool, calm, collected. But my oh my, that's another round in which they use the clock, every single second burned off it. And you feel like a Twistzz doesn't get purchased, so those players potentially don't line up. And that round has got so many different ways in which it could fall out of fashion, could go against them. But they're able to find that 4th, they're able to at least give themselves a foundation to work with. But for Liquid now, they need to do something different immediately as the half swaps over. Get off to a good start.
Get a pistol round. They've been so elusive for this squad, and it feels like a necessary step here to get this comeback happening. 8-1 was the scoreline at one stage, so the first step is done by Liquid. Complexity, a whole group of them ready just to hit fast onto B. Ulzerk has the heaven smoke ready to go. Flashbangs to follow up, but a boost in. Skulls is pushing. Naf is spotted. Now Skulls got to be up fast. The flash from Ulzerk strikes and sets Grim up. Twistzz with 1 kill. And the entirety of the CT start to rotate. They're fast on through. Grim is not done yet. Naf tucks into the corner, and Naf strikes, but it's only for 1. Grim with 4 in the round, but it's Ulzerk to close, and Complexity with another pistol.
And now they look with grimaces on their faces, because once again, they're being shut out by that man, star performer on Anubis, and now really elevating this game here on Overpass. Grim really delivering when it matters most, providing a lot of pressure on towards Liquid, and also just alleviating some of it from themselves, because they walk straight into that setup. The boost, the players up close, decimated by the Glocks.
And what a resurgence from Grim after a frankly disappointing performance against FURIA. It felt like him and Floppy weren't able to contribute in the way that you expect from these 2 players, but Grim is here, top of the server right now, by a good margin.
They've got the util, they're flashing. About to be a head-on collision in towards the long toilets, but the flashbangs, they're dodged. Elige will at least find the first Twistzz. Down low also meets the same fate. There's one more player out here, and of course, it's Elige. It always feels inevitable. And for Complexity, they don't even need to commit. The rotations are through. At least Skulls is lying over in towards short, but would need to give up the audio if he opens connector. And Complexity are just going to group. They're just going to go away and test that MP9 and Naf.
The force buy from Liquid. And if Naf falls, they've lost almost everything. Sticking around, looking to get something done, gets a kill at the very least, but he's so low. Skulls is gonna flank around, and there's a chance here. Elige is low. They'll be anticipating this surely. 20 seconds. Skulls. This round hinges on what he can find. 5-7 in hand. He's walked through. Players aren't looking, but he can't find the first shot. And Grim strikes for his. Naf is low, can't deny the bomb. A fight into a Liege could go his favor, but it's the tag, no kill found. And it's 4 in the round for a Liege, and Complexity so close to Copenhagen.
It feels like a lucid dream for Complexity now. Feeling every emotion. Remembering the journey that they've been on, it's so close. It almost feels real. The fact that it relies on 2 of Complexity's players finding quad kills to really damage the morale of Liquid, to really hamper their expectations. They thought the journey back into the NA RMR would be smoother sailing than it currently is. With the Complexity, they've stood and overcome hurdles. A close loss to FURIA, but right now it looks like they're closing the door on the potential and the ambitions of Liquid in their brand new roster. The first chance for CS2 Major success story.
Stuck in play. You're a rifle for Naf. Out towards Tree. Might be given the fight. Liege starts to look around. He spotted Naf. They know, but Naf still finds that first kill, and Liege can't find the shots. Holzo tries to step in, but Naf has found the headshot. Twistzz comes around the corner. And in the most unlikely of fashions, Liquid might have found a way to extend this game. Cadian's caught though, and it's given an avenue in. There's no kit in play. The bomb gets planted, and every second Complexity can waste is everything. Grim fights on forward. A double push in from short, but Floppy has smoked it off. It feels like Complexity are so locked in perfect flow state, but Grim makes a fatal error, and it leaves it to Floppy, the previous clutch master for this squad. Tapped by Twistzz, and he's sticking. Floppy coming around, and he's being helped by YEKINDAR. Liquid are able to do it.
What a round from Liquid, and to be honest, that one is given to them by Complexity. It's the individuals starting to feel themselves, starting to get in the mood, starting to think that they can book their tickets already. Instead, it's individual gunfights, something that has not really been associated with Complexity so far in this map. The afterplant looked promising, the plant for heaven, that was always the original intent. But the stick out of Liquid is the last thing Complexity were anticipating. And it's forced them just to be within pistols. It gives Liquid an opportunity to build, gather some momentum, redeem themselves, instill a little bit more hope and belief.
Critical that Liquid keep this one clean. They need this money to build up. It's still a long road ahead. Yes, this one's against the pistols, and should just be a formality. This team that has been put together to achieve greatness. Decided to think that maybe they'd have to put that greatness on a rain check, but still fighting. Still keeping the dreams alive. So many eyes, so much pressure on this squad to perform immediately out the gate, but it's not so easy. So much change has come to this team in such a short time. The win here, to come back from this position, will be a massive statement of what this team can achieve. Holzer gets one. The Twistzz limits the casualties. A nice collection. Liquid onto their 6.
But now Liquid up against Rifles. Twistzz screams, let's get back into this. Believing that they've got the experience necessary within their individuals rather than in the team itself to carry them over the line. No AWP for Holzerg. Limited utility on Grim and JT. An early molly's being dumped by Twistzz through A to short B, meaning that these players, well, actually it's missed, you could just see on from Floppy's POV, but it meant that there's still more incendiaries, but not ready for Floppy. That missed incendiary nearly cost Scholes his life.
Lucky to live. Floppy shakes that one off. Trying to see if he can find the target of his early damage, but needs to be careful because Cadian is here with the AWP. This has caused an extra rotation over, but not Complexity's intent. They're putting some space now over towards A, 3 out towards long. Grim lurking in towards the connector.
This is where the limited utility is really going to be a factor for Complexity, because they haven't got enough to really feign any presence. Floppy's got a smoke and a flash he could potentially use over towards B whilst Complexity gain the space, and they've been able to travel a fair bit of distance. Lurk smoke down long, that will keep YEKINDAR interested at the very least, and YEKINDAR nearly hangs around for too long. Elige with the spam, it's not the kill conversion, but a lot of damage has been inflicted.
Oh, Floppy's lurk though, it could be everything. Cadian was falling off the line, but Cadian gets back onto it. There was a moment where Floppy could have done a lot. And off the back of him falling, they go straight in towards A. The flashbangs for the Molotov. Twistzz is still here, and everyone is rotating for the CTs. Time is now limited for Complexity. Initiative face the other squad, but Naft and Twistzz are stepping up. Grim gets one back. It's Grim and Elige. And Grim again gets a kill. Elige in the clutch. The first is Elige's. And YEKINDAR is so damn low. And Elige puts him even lower.
Punishes Liquid immediately. And it's that dynamic duo again. Grim, Elige, a 2 versus 4. It felt like Liquid had got that all locked in. All they had to do was survive. All they had to do was not overextend. They wanted to deny the bomb, but instead they get denied the opportunity of closing the gap. That's such a swing round when it comes to the momentum. Liquid had it in the palm of their hands, but it's Complexity to snatch the ideals right out of them.
Elige has help. Somebody is stepping up alongside him, and you can see the difference it is making. Good flashbang. But both AWPs fire off for nothing. Elige misses the shot, but there's that support. Grim steps in. Twistzz is spotted, but can't find the kill. Naf actually spamming out from short to get that.
That's the bomb. Grim had the bomb. So now Twistzz has got that under his control. Skulls can step in. He'd love a gun. Finally, he retrieves an AK. But for Complexity, this is a really difficult mission. How do you want to approach this? Do you reset in from T-spawn? I feel like you have to. Smoke's just been thrown completely to deny Hulzerk any opportunity to find a trade, and Cadian playing so passive means his riflers can work.
Very difficult to recover for Complexity. They know it. It's so hard to find anything. Spell slows them down further. So peek into the angle. If Skulls falls, it becomes a lot more achievable.
That's been heard. Now, he's waiting. Skulls needs to be the player to take the first contact. Instead, smoked off. Is Naf going to spam? Yes, he is. He's trying to sell the idea that Skulls isn't here. But Skulls is. Double decapitation for the Brazilian. He's seen so many South American players qualify through to Copenhagen, and he wants to join them. He wants to be in the ascendancy with them. Make Liquid that conversation piece. But that's a mistake. That's a small thing that snowballs into something far greater for Complexity. The bomb on Grim in connector denies them a chance to even get back into the round and denies them potentially a chance into round 19. It has to be Tech 9s with limited flashbangs and limited HP bars. They are being worn away by the attrition of the spam, the flames, the nades.
YEKINDAR's spray doesn't work out though. Grim gets the kill. And Cadian needs to step up because he is the only one here. Second shot, now he's gonna get overwhelmed. He just kept fighting forward. Twistzz at least is able to step in, but JT's Deagle is doing everything. Oh, it is doing everything. He is leading his team to 12. Taking them by force to Copenhagen. Skulls has a 1v3 on his hands, and it's the Deagle of Hulzerk that strikes. It's pistols, a force die for Complexity.
Johnny Bravo.
Series point.
Johnny Bravo. Take a bow. Talk about leading by example here. First shot, you think, all right, not bad. They've run down the AWP, and he just keeps on going. Hulzerk twists the knife. Complexity take a breather.
A force buy with pistols is what breaks the back of Liquid. And there's so much room for Complexity to work with now. You could paint the picture of the way Liquid would build their way back into this. But that round is devastating. The pause from Complexity at least allows Zeus to get on the mic because Liquid haven't been able to call him in once in this half. It all comes down to this for Liquid. A cobbled together buy. The highlights are 2 M4s.
And the dream of North America resonating within Complexity, within Elige. As he once again marches forward. Grim and Floppy by his side. The South African calling from the front, swing into Naf, but not the kill. Naf trying to stand the test of time. At least there's a trade from Skulls, but Cadian cornered in towards Connector.
Look at Elige. He's walked on through, but it might not matter. He's gotten so much space. He's going to be ahead of the rotates. What can Elige achieve? They should be aware that there's a gap here. You can see YEKINDAR's approach is slow, tucks in towards bank. He can cut off all the rotations though. Maybe he'll get a little bit more inquisitive. Needs to find an advantage, but he's spotted. And now they know. Hulzerk's gonna come on over, has a smoke so he can lock off one of these angles. Liquid are playing this so safe, just sitting back, waiting for Complexity to make the mistake. Is it too much respect being given on over? Hulzerk's gonna get the plant in the 2-on-4, and now the AWP posted on up. He can look for his mark. There is a push coming through from Skulls. He's recovered an AK, and he might be what ends it, but Hulzerk's firing that first shot, looking for the second, and Hulzerk continues his reign of dominance. Elige with the killing blow, and Complexity are going to Copenhagen.
It's Jason Lake's Juggernaut taking down the European Pegasus of Liquid. They tried to make a return in the NA RMR, but they get obliterated. Inferno looked promising, but Anubis, but Overpass, it was too...